Yo, what's going on, everybody? My name is Tyler. Welcome back to the Mind of a Nerd Studio. Today, we are talking about one of my most anticipated movies of 2022. That is Jurassic World Dominion, the epic conclusion to the Jurassic franchise, or so they say. Um, this was a movie that I was looking forward to. Then I wasn't, and then I really wasn't, and then I saw it. um, and this movie was very mixed among people. Actually, no, not mixed. Most people fucking hated this movie. I don't know why I'm trying to sugarcoat that. But we are gonna get into it. We're gonna try and go through the spoiler free part quickly because this movie was 2.5 hours fucking long. There's so much shit we need to cover. So let's run down. We got my boy AJ once again here. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, man? I know that we have two different stances on the film. We both enjoyed it, but you and Luke, you guys enjoyed it a little bit more than me. But we're gonna get into those. So I'm excited.
And we got Luke Ponto for the first time in one of our reviews. What's going on, brother?
Happy to be here. Happy to talk about some Jurassic World Dominion. And like I told you guys yesterday, I will never understand why people hated this movie. Not one bit.
Luke, try to fix your mic a little bit. It sounds like staticky or something.
There we go.
It's still maybe unplug it and plug it back in, maybe.
Yeah, I think it's I don't know what it is, but yeah, I guess I might have to just try to do this then.
Okay. So, like I said, we are not going to waste any time. Let's get into the spoiler-free section of Jurassic World Dominion. So, Jurassic World Dominion was directed by Colin Trevorrow, once again from Jurassic World. Stars Chris Pratt, Bryce Dallas Howard, Isabella Sermon, Sam Neill, Laura Dern, Jeff Goldblum, DeWanda Wise, Campbell Scott, and B.D. Wong. And tells the story of the trailers that dinosaurs are in the real world and they are living among us. That's what the trailer told you. What this movie is really about is two separate storylines involving the Jurassic World characters and the Jurassic Park characters, in which they'll converge. That's basically my way of saying it without spoilers. So, right off the bat, I would say the best thing in this movie is the dinosaur stuff. I like the dinosaur stuff pretty much all around. What people came for. The dinosaur action is fucking awesome. The dinosaurs look great. I saw some people saying that the CGI was iffy. For me personally, it wasn't.
I don't get that argument.
I thought there were animatronics in this movie, which I appreciated because Jurassic World has none. Fallen Kingdom did have some. And you know, the one thing that I actually appreciated about this movie was the dinosaurs were kind of scary in this movie, for me, at least. There were scenes where I was like, ooh, okay. Especially in IMAX 3D, which I was very happy to see a movie in IMAX 3D again. I have not seen a movie in IMAX 3D since Rise of Skywalker. And thankfully, it was a movie that I liked. And the 3D did help. It wasn't Avatar or anything, but the 3D, like sometimes there were things coming at the screen. I was like, oh shit. It was cool in 3D. The returning cast from both ends is solid. I would say the standouts are the three OGs. They're all great. Seeing Laura Dern and Sam Neill together is just movie magic to me. It reminded me of Han and Leia in Force Awakens when they got back together. I was like, I can't stop smiling. I love you guys so much. Jeff Goldblum, once again, is great as usual.
He's a gem. He's a national treasure. Yes, we need to protect this man at all costs.
Yes. When he's in his 80s, bunker his ass down, give him all the medicine.
Yes.
What else? The Jurassic World characters, for the most part, are fine. One person offends me. Get into that. The other ones are fine. Claire and Owen, they're fine. Bryce Dallas Howard and Chris Pratt are both fine. I feel like their acting has gotten worse as the movies have gone on, but they're still fine. Like, it feels like they care less as the movies have gone on. Those two.
I can see that.
Kayla, played by DeWanda Wise, is probably one of my favorite new characters in the trilogy thus far. I really like her a lot. I thought DeWanda Wise was great in the movie. She was funny. She was charming. I liked her chemistry with Chris Pratt. I really enjoyed that. Score by Mr. Michael Giacchino once again is great. I thoroughly enjoy his scores. I don't think I've ever heard a score that was bad.
Mhm.
And the movie in the second half of the movie becomes dumb fun, and it's really when this movie becomes super enjoyable from start to end. That's my last positive. Did we miss any? Do you guys have any other ones?
I guess I'll let Luke go.
I'm trying to think of one like off the top of my head. I mean, the dinosaur kills in this movie are freaking awesome. Like,
Yeah.
you can't deny that. Like, anytime you come up with a Jurassic Park movie, you have to have good dinosaur kills.
Mm-hmm.
I can agree to most of your points, Tyler. The dinosaur stuff was the best thing about this film. If that was taken out, I mean, of course, it wouldn't be a Jurassic Park film, or Jurassic World film, but I don't think it would stand without it. And yeah, this film, I feel like this film has a lot going for it as far as like the genre that it is, but it was a little all over the place. We'll get into that when I talk about negatives, but I did admire like the horror elements that were brought. The action elements were awesome.
Yeah.
The whole chase scene, I'm not going to get into detail yet, but the chase scene, if you've seen it, that was probably my favorite part of the film. And I think the film did a good job bringing tension in some areas. Let's see, the score. I enjoyed the score by Michael Giacchino. I felt like it was a little bit of the John Williams flair to it. I heard a little John Williams in there, so I appreciated that. The characters, I would say the acting overall was solid. I would say that because there were some that were kind of iffy, and we'll talk about that. But there were some that were a little iffy, but most of it was pretty solid. Mainly from I actually enjoyed the OG Laura Dern and
Sam Neill.
Alan, yeah, Sam Neill. I enjoyed their characters more than the characters in from the Jurassic World movies.
Oh, I agree.
Even though I don't love everything that was done with them.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, but yeah, I think those are pretty much all my positives. The dino stuff, man. That's what I left with, and I held on to.
All right. Like I said, the second half of this movie is where this movie shines. I say that because the first half of this movie is a fucking mess. And the story, that's my biggest negative. The story in this movie is strange and messy.
Oh, we're on the negatives now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And that goes into the fact that this movie was painfully mismarketed. It was. This movie does not have to do with dinosaurs being in the real world. There are hints of it in the movie, but
it's about 5 minutes of the movie.
That is not what the movie is about. I will talk about it in spoilers, but there are two storylines that have absolutely nothing to do with the overall vibe of dinosaurs being in the real world, and that's a fucking shame. Universal should be ashamed of themselves for blueballing us, because it's not even the fact that wasn't the plot line. It was the fact that you had Fallen Kingdom, which wasn't even that good of a movie to most. I've come around to kind of like it, but you had a dumbass ending from a dumbass character, and then you had that ending, and you had people say, oh, well, I hate the ending, but I like where we're going, only for you not to go through with that ending and instead take people's money blindly because they were excited for it and do that. Shame on you. Legitimately, shame on you. How dare you?
I can agree to that.
I like this movie, but I'm not going to sit here and acknowledge you mismarketing the movie. And I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, well, that's my fault for going in with expectations. No, because you marketed the movie like that. Shame on you.
This is a beloved series, too. It's kind of hard to not go in with any expectations, especially the way we left off in Fallen Kingdom.
Yeah.
But yeah, the story is messy. The first half of the movie is so boring. I was sitting there, I felt like Dominion. Crimes. What the fuck is the name of this movie? Secrets of Dumbledore. I was sitting there like, Jesus Christ, this movie's so boring. I like these characters, but I was like, what is happening? What is happening? Some of the story is clear as day. Okay, the Jurassic World side of it is fine. Okay, but then the stuff with the OG characters, it's like, what are we doing here? What are we like? You get the premise of what they're doing. You understand what they're doing. You don't understand why they're doing it. They have a scene with Laura Dern that's like so brief, and it was so exposition heavy. And I was sitting there like, what? Slow down. Please slow down.
It was exposition heavy, but then it didn't explain well enough.
It explained what was happening, but
it didn't even give its own explanation. Like, what the heck were you doing?
Yeah.
It's a weird situation.
It's just, it's such a messy story, and it's disappointing. Macy, the stupid dinosaur girl, the clone, whatever. I hate this character. I do. I know people kind of like her. I hate this character. She was in Fallen Kingdom, but then she went from to me hating her after she did what she did at the end of Fallen Kingdom. I hated that. And in this movie, when this movie starts, I wanted to stab my eardrums out. She's fucking terrible. I didn't like the character. I thought the acting was not good at all. And it's hilarious because this is supposed to be a time zone. So you're supposed to get better as you get older. She was worse in this movie than she was in Fallen Kingdom, to me. I was sitting there like, Jesus Christ. This is not a spoiler. There's a scene where the mystical dinosaurs, that's what we call them. The mystical dinosaurs, the brachio, I think the brachiosaur, it's walking. And every time the brachiosaur shows up in Jurassic Park, it's this big moment. Brachiosaur walks by, and she's sitting there like this. No emotion. I'm like, what the fuck? I don't like her at all. Every scene she was in, she got less annoying as the movie went on. But in the beginning of this movie, I was like, Jesus Christ, just anywhere, go anywhere. I would have rather had the fucking doctors from Fallen Kingdom back if this was the case. Jesus Christ. At least they they were trying. It's like she wasn't even trying, and when she did, she was terrible. Speaking of terrible, the villain in this movie is fucking atrocious. I don't know. I don't know what they were thinking with this. I don't. An absolutely terrible villain. I don't know what they were thinking. Why do we need a villain? Why did we need a villain? Why?
It doesn't really need this. This series does not really need a villain.
No, granted.
Well, for one,
go ahead.
They're trying to copy off the Man in the Suit villain that Marvel did perfectly the first time with Iron Man. And they're just like, okay, how do we do this? Oh, let's make him the most boring and uninvesting villain they can possibly do.
Yeah.
Very bland villain.
Now, granted, the story that we're getting warrants a villain. Now, we don't need the story that we're getting. So therefore, I don't give a shit about the villain. If we had the concept of dinosaurs being in the real world, eating people alive, we don't need a villain because the dinosaurs are the villain. That's how it works.
Thank you.
I feel like what they were thinking with this is, oh, well, we can't make the dinosaurs the villains because people like the dinosaurs. I'm sorry. What? I'm sorry. What movie did you watch in 1993 where the dinosaurs were not the villains of the movie?
Yeah, but I do feel like over time and with these movies,
I know they're not really like that, but Jurassic World treated them like that to an extent.
To an extent, they did.
Because the only dinosaurs that were not villainous were the raptors, the mosasaur, and the T-Rex.
Yeah.
It is true.
And even the Raptors had villainous tendencies, but they were on the same side.
This movie also doesn't really. Oh, and Campbell Scott is fucking terrible in this movie. I don't know why. It just. This movie doesn't really have anything to say. It's not very deep, which it doesn't really need anything. But it's one of those things where you watch it and it's like, oh, that was cool. Okay, moving on with my day. You know.
But then like some people just complain like, oh, there's nothing going for it, and I'm like, there's not really a point because it's Jurassic World. Like, what do you want to go for?
The movie also does not feel like a final movie in this franchise. It's it kind of ended, and when it ended, I was like, oh, okay, that's the end of the franchise. You know, even though I hate Rise of Skywalker, at least no, I'm not even gonna give Rise of Skywalker. I was gonna say that Rise of Skywalker kind of felt like a final movie, and it kind of does in some ways, but. I don't know. I kind of felt both the same ways with this and Rise of Skywalker. Only I like this margins more than Rise of Skywalker. And lastly, this movie's just really dumb. Now, Jurassic World was dumb. Fallen Kingdom was even more dumb. This movie's really dumb. And if you don't want dumb, you're not gonna like this movie. If you've accepted where we are in this franchise, like I have at this point, you don't like it. That's how it is.
Right.
So,
and also, I got to point out one other issue with this movie. This movie's too long.
Yes, it is.
Way too long. They could have at least left at least 15 minutes of this one on the cutting room floor, but then they're just like, no, we insert it now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go into final grades. I told you guys
we didn't get into the negatives.
We did.
I didn't get to talk about my negatives.
All right. If do you guys have any negatives at all?
Yeah, I have quite a bit of negatives, but I probably won't go into every single thing in the spoiler-free section. We'll get into it in the spoiler-filled, but the plot, the story, you hit that on the nail on the head with that. But I felt like I was a little bit more not offended, but just put out by how convoluted the film was. And yeah, I know a lot of folks are saying, you know, what do you expect? It's a Jurassic Park movie. I expect a comprehensible story. I understand every single other film leading up to this point, but when you give me a storyline that doesn't literally breaks my brain, I don't want that. That's not something that I want.
In a bad way.
And
I'll sit there and watch Tenet and take that shit gladly.
You know, Tenet is different because it feels a lot smarter than this.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It feels a lot smarter than this, and it is a totally different type of film as well. It's not dumb fun. It's more, you know, intricacies of, you know, cinema and things like that. But this is supposed to be kind of dumb fun, but it's supposed to be comprehensible. Right. That's my biggest issue with this film, and it brought it down quite a bit in score. But the action, the horror, you know, those different elements of the film bring it up. So it kind of balances out. I ultimately enjoyed this film, but the storyline, it confuses me, and I have yet to have anyone explain it in an efficient way.
Yeah.
But as far as the characters, I didn't care for. The villain could have been so much better. It could have been a villain that was ominous, threatening. You know, and like you said, this movie, it needs a villain, but it doesn't. It's frustrating because the fact that we did get a villain is kind of frustrating. But since we did, give them something better than what you wrote them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's another negative of mine. You mentioned Maisie, and you know how you were frustrated with her, the character, the actress, and you know the character herself. I didn't hate this character. I think some of her actions were kind of warranted. Plus, she's a teenager. We'll get into that when with the spoiler.
Okay, that point is coming up in spoilers because something happens and I was like, bullshit. Like, no.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you.
But the deal with the situation that she has going on in the beginning of the film kind of warrants her behavior of sorts. I know if I was put in that situation, I would have some issues as well. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all my issues I had with the film.
All right.
Yeah, but I think mostly, like, my issues with the film are mostly just nitpicks. Like, because I couldn't help but have fun with watching Jurassic World Dominion. So, like I said, well, the villain of this film really bogged this movie down for me because of how boring and uninvesting he was, for one. Yeah. Because, like I said, it just felt like another Marvel trope, like where they're just making a man in the suit villain. Like,
it reminded me
I'm tired of that at this point.
It reminded me a lot of the villain from Black Widow that wasn't Taskmaster. It was that other person.
Yeah, even with that though, I feel like he was strangling her. He was doing something.
I'm sorry, I did not like that villain.
I understand that you didn't care for the villain, but you gotta admit that he was more threatening than this villain. This villain seemed like he would sit you down and give you a stern talking to.
Yeah,
that's what this villain would give you, Richard Parker.
You get like the worst possible villain that is just following the MCU trope, and I'm just like, okay, we're done with this. Come on.
Yeah. But so that's how I felt.
Let's jump into the comments, man. Let's say hello to our audience. MVP Jason Carr, what's going on? Just came back.
Jason.
I think the OGs were there to fill in time. Yeah. 2 hours would have been better. Jennifer's in the chat. What's going on,
Jennifer? What's going on?
Villain was weak. Yup. The movie was solid. Yeah. Jennifer did not like this movie at all.
Yeah, I saw that. Like when she posted her story, like, yeah, it was a movie. And then I go to her letterbox and I'm like, whoa.
So let's run down final grades. I guess we'll go from lowest to highest. I know everyone's grades, but so AJ, what is your final grade for Jurassic World Dominion?
3.5 out of 5. That is my final grade.
Me and Mr. Ponto have the same grades, so we're gonna get them out of the way. 4 out of 5. We both thoroughly enjoyed this. We do have issues, so that is the spoiler-free section. If you have not seen Jurassic World Dominion and do not want to be spoiled, which I do advise, if you have not seen this movie, don't get spoiled. Go see it and come back. But if you have and you're still here and you're not clicking off this video, get out! Because we are talking full spoilers for Jurassic World Dominion. So we are going to run down pretty much everything that happens in this movie. It's a lot. I got like 3 pages of notes here. So grab a cold beverage because it is going to be a long spoiler discussion. So this movie starts with not dinosaurs. No. Well, we got a dinosaur basic recap of the franchise, kind of, which leads to a Harry Potter style title card, which I was like, okay. Weird. We then get Laura Dern not investigating dinosaurs. Oh no, that would be too much to ask. She's investigating bugs.
That's another thing. Like, we realize that the dinosaurs are not like the biggest problem right now. It's just like more bugs.
So she goes to this like crop farm or whatever, and we find out that these localists are eating these crops, and the lady you guys are gonna have to help me out with this part. She says that the flies are eating non-biosyn seeds, right? That's what it was. Yeah, biosyn is this company, this new company. There's always gonna be a new company. And they're eating non-biosyn seeds, which I guess people have non-biosyn seeds that way they can keep their crops. I think that's it, right? Is that it?
Yeah.
I'm seriously asking.
I
don't
know. I don't know. I don't
I was trying to
know.
remember correctly for a second. I
don't
just saw
know,
this
man.
last night.
I really don't.
I think that's what's
it wasn't
happening.
explained well.
I think that's what's happening.
That's it wasn't explained well.
kind of what it's kind of what it was.
We'll say that's what it was. I could be wrong. Someone let us if you guys remember in the comments, please let us know. Help us out. So then she then goes to see Alan and asks for help. I love this scene. The dialogue was nonsense. It wasn't bad, but it's just like it's exposition nonsense, and I was like, I don't care. I love seeing you two on the screen. I do. Like, I'm eating it up. I don't care. The gist of this scene was that she asked him for help, and Alan was like, "Oh, I'm done with that. You know, I just want to be here, left alone." She's like, "Oh, but you can't have. Nobody gets to have what they want." Basically, like that was the gist.
Right.
Of it, which, yeah, okay. And then she was like, "Oh, come help me with this." And then he gives. I love Sam Neill, but this look was so cheesy. He just looks up and smiles at the camera. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So then we go and find the Jurassic World characters. We see Macy from Fallen Kingdom. Oh, by the way, there is a 4-year time jump, I believe, in this movie.
Yeah, it's a 4-year time jump.
So which that kind of annoys me. What happened in those 4 years? I'm assuming people died.
Yeah.
The dinosaurs are living free in the world, basically.
Also, the battle, for those who have not seen it, the Battle of Big Rock short is better than this whole movie in terms of the premise of this movie. If you have not seen the Battle of Big Rock, go check it out. It's like 8 minutes long. It's cool. I like it a lot. So then we see Macy go into town. She sees a brachiosaur, again, emotionless as possible. The stone face on her face. That's what.
It's she just like she goes into the bathroom. She's just like.
Yeah, literally. So then she comes back and Claire's like, "Oh, hi," or whatever. And they start arguing and Macy's treating her like shit. And I'm like, the fuck? And they start arguing. And basically the gist of it is Macy's pissed because she's being kept there because people are looking for her. Yeah. And I'm like, okay. First of all, why are you treating these people like shit, Claire and Owen, when they literally rescued you from that place in Fallen Kingdom and they gave you a home? If they did not rescue you, you'd probably either be dead or in a lab being torn apart like a freaking game of Operation because of what you are. So why are you giving them lip? Now, granted, she's being held down and locked down. Okay, whatever. But you are literal government property. Yeah, literally. Right. So why are you giving them lip? I don't understand. Like it.
She don't want to be tied down, man. She don't want to be tied down.
Like, granted, the situation
really feels
sucks.
like she's being held captive.
Like the situation sucks, yeah. But at least I know. Oh, listen, like I'm important to the government, and if they find me, I'm gonna get kidnapped. So let me not do stupid shit. Of course, she does stupid shit. Why wouldn't she? And it's like, okay, I did not like that scene at all. I was like, damn, poor Bryce Dallas Howard. Shit, fuck, she do to anybody.
I was just kind of like, okay, can we just?
You're not my mom.
Let's get past this, please. Let's get going.
So then her and Owen reveal that people were looking for her, which we kind of figured that out. And we also get a scene with Macy, and we find out that Blue had a kid and reproduced by herself. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, showed that in the trailer. Also, the trailer showed way too much of this movie. But hey, it's Universal, you know.
They like spoiling crap even if it's not a horror movie.
Alan and Ellie, Sam Neill and Northern, they go to Biosyn, the company. I hate that name, Biosyn. It sounds so stupid. They go to the company because Jeff Goldblum works there, and we get this awkward scene with the three of them where we get
first meet
some of the best dialogue I've ever heard in my life when Alan asks Ellie if they've been in contact. She says, and I quote, "He's
You slid into my
He's-
DMs.
he slid into my
Into
DMs."
DMs.
Oh my
Slid
God.
into my DMs. I said, "Oh, what?"
Dude, I'm not gonna lie, that line made me cringe.
All right.
Seriously, I cringe.
That was on the level. AJ hasn't seen it. That was on the level of in Morbius when he said, "You won't like me when I'm hungry." That was
Wait, that's the Incredible Hulk.
no, that was from
Oh.
Morbius. He
You
said
don't
that
like
in
me when I'm
Morbius.
hungry.
You won't
That
like me
was-
when I'm hungry.
That was bad. I was like, oh, how much did you pay her to say that? She probably doesn't even know what DMs are, bro.
Exactly.
People, how
Try
should
to
you know
try
that?
to make it relevant. Try to make.
But basically, basically. So we get Ian Malcolm telling them that, oh yeah, there's evidence that what you're trying to figure out is true, that Biosyn is tampering with the locusts for whatever purpose. I don't know. I was just like, okay. Beta and Beta's baby Blue, which I like Beta. He or she, I don't know. It was cute. Whatever. The dinosaur.
Yeah.
Beta and Macy get kidnapped. We get this kind of chase scene where Owen goes after them, and then Claire and Owen find out where they're going, and they pursue. So Claire and Owen are led to a place where Macy and Beta aren't. They find out they've been bamboozled.
I think it was
So
in Italy. Somewhere
Malta.
in Italy.
Yeah, it
I
was all the
think
way down.
Malta
Yeah, it
was
was
where
down
it was
in
called.
Italy.
So then this leads to one of the. This was for me where the movie got insanely better for me.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, no question.
Up to this point, I was bored out of my mind. I was like, I don't care about all of this. I really don't. We get an awesome action sequence with these raptors called Atrociraptors, where this woman has these raptors that basically she fixed what was an error in Fallen Kingdom with the Indoraptor with the stupid laser. She basically made it better, and she made it that when you point at someone, they
Laser,
attack
yeah.
them until they're dead, which that's kind of a cool thing. So
Yeah.
we get this awesome action sequence where the Raptors are going after Claire, Owen, and Owen's partner from Jurassic World. I don't know his name, nor do I
Barry.
care.
Barry.
I thought Barry was gonna die. I guess he
I
didn't.
thought so.
Yeah, I thought so too.
He just disappeared.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was,
So-
another one of my issues with the movie. I felt like some characters were just left in the dust.
Yeah.
Even
can agree with
that villain that was in Italy. I don't
Oh,
know.
that was another thing. There's like 18 villains in this movie. There's
And
you
the
got
one in Italy. She at least wasn't like boring.
the main.
She was better than the
villain.
main villain.
Yeah, you got
Yeah,
the main
no kidding.
villain. Then you got the girl from Italy. Then you got the guys who kidnapped Macy and Blue or Beta. Then you got these other people who show up in Italy who are like, I guess, black market. That was another thing. They were like, oh yeah, dinosaurs are on the black market. What?
Yeah, that's what happened after the
And they walk
the
in.
dinosaurs were roaming the
They
earth.
walk into this place and you see like little baby dinosaurs and you see dinosaurs on the grill. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, what am I watching, bro? Shit
So
was
weird.
dumb. It was so dumb. So yeah, we get this awesome action sequence where Chris Pratt is on the motorcycle running from the Raptors. And Claire's running from this Raptor too. And I actually kind of liked her segment more because she was on foot, and that was more intense. And I like these Raptors, man. I like the designs of them. That their noses were like pointy. And it was
longer.
yeah, man.
Oh, yeah.
So then Claire finds out that Beta and Macy aren't there. They're at Biosyn where Alan and Ellie are at. So then Chris Pratt, they round back and they go to back where they started and they put the Raptors back in the cage. They treat their Raptors like idiots as usual. So then they find out where they're going, and then we go. We get back to Ellie and Alan, and they find proof of what's going on, and they escape, and then Macy also escapes. So then the sides come together pretty much. We also got the introduction of Kayla in the other sequence, the action sequence. I like Kayla a lot. I do. I like that.
Well, we got introduced to her when Macy was being transported.
Yeah, she sees the girl and she doesn't think anything of it. Then she sees her again when Claire finds her and she's like, "Oh shit! I know where they're at. Come on." I like that. I like that she's not just a money person.
Mm-hmm.
So then, where are we? So we get this.
The plane.
The plane, yeah. So you saw it in the trailer. They're flying the plane. They escape, and this huge fucking pterodactyl tears apart this plane, and Claire ejects out of it. And there was only one parachute. I liked the part of this where Claire was sitting and the dinosaur came from the side, but when she ejected out, it looked like shit.
You didn't like the point of view?
No, it looked terrible.
It looked green screen.
It looked really bad. It reminded me of the scene from the Batman where he glides in the absolute worst way, though. Like, it was, maybe that's why they shot that scene at night. I was like, oh, okay. And basically, these pterodactyls put Claire in like a jungle, and she runs away from this dinosaur. I thought the dinosaur was blind. I guess not.
It seemed like it was blind.
Yeah, it did when they showed.
I think it might have been. I think it was.
But it knew exactly where that animal thing was because it just. Whoosh. I was like, oh.
Maybe it could smell the carcass.
I like
you could smell you can smell like like humans or other animals like around the jungle.
And it detected that Claire was there, so
right.
Maybe from smell.
Mm-hmm. So I like the long fingers of that dinosaur. It reminded me of there's this one part in Days of Future Past where someone gets stabbed and the fingernails look like that. I don't know. That's why it reminded me of, but it did. So, yeah, Lady Deathstrike. That's her name. Mm-hmm. So Claire is running from this dinosaur. It was an intense sequence. I liked it, and we also saw I don't know if it was the same dinosaur. The T-Rex shows up, which it was random that the T-Rex was just there.
Yep.
And this was the blind dinosaur the same dinosaur that T-Rex fought at the end with the long fit? No, it wasn't, right? It was a totally different dinosaur.
No, they teamed up. The one with the long nails and
yeah. So this other dinosaur shows up, scares off the long-nailed dinosaur. I wish I knew the fucking name. It's probably some ridiculous ass shit.
He seriously looks like an ostrich when I really look at it.
Ostrich? Oh no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the we're still in the forest with Claire.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I thought you were talking about the other dinosaur that shows up later, and then
no.
I could not get that out of my head. He's like, is that Ostrichosaurus?
So the T-Rex shows up and this other dinosaur shows up. They start fighting. I thought it was the Spinosaurus from 3 because it had a little thing on its back and it reminded me of the Spinosaurus from Jurassic Park 3. I guess it's not. They fought for like 2 seconds and the T-Rex was like, I'm too old for this shit. You can have it. That's basically what he said. He was like, I'm too old for this shit, bro. I don't even got a home anymore, bro. So then we come back to Claire and Kayla. They're on this ice. I really like this sequence a lot.
Sequence is good. I really like the dinosaur head too.
Yeah, the ostrich dinosaur. We'll call it that.
Dinosaur with the feathers.
I don't know the name. The dinosaur looked great.
He did.
Oh yeah.
And this was a really intense sequence. I like this. The dinosaur went under the ice. And I liked when when Caleb pulled him back up and then the dinosaur broke out of the ice. That was cool, man. It was a cool sequence. I like this.
It was intense
too. The characters back at Biosyn, they go into this temple, which it was weird that they had this underground temple with dinosaurs when this whole place is supposed to be like a sanctuary. It's like, why would you have that right under your operations? Like,
right.
It's bizarre to me. I don't really get that. So we got Ellie, Alan, and Macy. They're walking through, and I would say the horror elements shine here the most. I was looking back. I knew something was gonna happen because it was like really dark, and you had the fire, and the fire kept like going back and revealing the wall a little bit, and eventually the fire reveals a dinosaur. I was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, when Alan was on the ladder.
And there were
literally,
there were some good jump scares.
Alan's going up the ladder, and then all of a sudden, boom!
Yeah,
that
they
was a good
were,
jump scare.
especially in IMAX too. I felt that shit.
Oh yeah, no kidding.
There were the horror elements in this movie, in this scene in particular, really shined. Ian gets fired because the stupid villain finds out what he was doing. Whatever. Ian goes to help these guys, and this was probably one of my favorite parts of the movie. It was hilarious. He's trying to open up the gate, and there's a code. He's like, "Oh man, I didn't know there was gonna be a code." So
I think I know what it is now.
yeah, and he kept typing, and they were like, "Help!" He's like, I know, this sucks. Give me a minute." And we didn't talk about this, but Ian Malcolm's partner. At first, I found his partner kind of corny, and after a while, he kind of grew on me. I was like, I like you. I thought he was gonna double cross them.
I thought he was gonna be.
I thought so too. Yeah.
When he didn't, I was like, oh, I like you.
Yeah.
I pulled the Thanos. I like you. So he helps them get out. Then Claire gets. This was one of the most intense sequences in the movie for me when Claire. I don't know the name of the goo dinosaur. We'll call him the goo dinosaur. All of these fancy names for the dinosaurs. The goo dinosaur from the first one that it opens and it's got the flaps.
Yeah.
I saw its head. I was like, "You motherfucker, bro!" So it comes up on Claire, and then like two other ones come up behind. I was like, "Oh, fuck!" And it opens. It's getting ready to attack, and I genuinely like got really happy when this happened. I don't know why, but Chris Pratt shows up and he like
he grabs it by the neck.
Yeah,
grabs it by the neck. I was like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah, that was a little. I was like, "Okay." That was definitely a plot armor moment. I was like, okay, I guess we can do that now. And he like suffocate. I would assume the dinosaur can't open the mouth no more because the goo is like sticky. So he's
right.
So he'd probably die anyway.
He might have had like pressure points under its neck or something like that. I don't
know. That was cool, man. So we got all the Jurassic World characters back together. And then eventually we get Alan and Macy and all the gang. We got the characters finally together. I feel like we got here way faster than I thought we would. I guess I'm just flying by.
That's it. Yeah.
So,
you're not giving every little detail, but that's fine.
Because the little details will put everyone to sleep, and I don't think we want to put people to sleep. The movie did that more than enough. So we got all the characters together. It was awesome seeing them together for the first time. You know, the big dinosaur shows up, and I think Alan says it's like the largest carnivore the world has ever seen. Of course, it's got to be the biggest because it's the last movie. It's got to be the biggest. You know, so they all run away from this carnivore, and this sequence was great. You know, from here on out, I've had a great time with this movie. You know, we got this awesome sequence. I loved this shot. Macy's climbing up the ladder, and there's this like border around, and the carnivore just woof on the side, and it was a great shot.
Like you watch that scene and you're just like, oh god, no.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know about all that. It was Macy. She could have got fucking eaten, and I would have cared. I'm gonna be dead.
I mean, you see Maisie climbing the ladder, but you also see like the inside of the dinosaur's mouth with the teeth around.
That was a great shot, and I liked when it was collapsing, like getting square. I was like, ooh.
I said, go.
Yeah, that's exactly like she's fucking sitting there. It's like, bro, you're not in danger, bro. Just climb. Like his mouth is not that strong. Just climb. And she's just standing there. I'm like, oh my god, bro.
Come on, get going now.
So they finally all get up there, and I forgot what did they do with the power exactly? They were like, we got to turn it off to like get it on or something. They had to do something.
Had to turn it off so they could like shut down the system.
Because
because there's also like when the villain of the movie is going on the monorail or what have you. It stops, and then all the lights are out. He goes out of it. Lots of smoke is pulling out, and then the same dinosaur that was about to attack Claire shows up, and then there's multiple of them, and I'm like,
how
did you get there?
Awesome. I love
that was awesome.
The
But
villain's
at the same time,
demise.
I question, like, how did you get
when
there?
I saw one, like, about to kill him, I'm doing jazz hands for the dinosaur. But that was awesome. And then when I saw like 5 of them, I was like,
Oh yeah, he's done.
you did, you did.
DUD.
I was
Like,
like,
you cannot, like, dude, you can't. You can't escape from these guys.
He got a
like,
great
you're
death.
so dead.
I hated the villain, but my God, we didn't talk about this. He has excessive body movements in this movie. There's a scene where someone is like, "Do you want to shut down the park?" And he's like, I'm like,
He kind of. I don't know why, but it
I feel
reminds me of the phone scene in Uncle Buck. Was like, "Give me."
Yeah, and when he had his little temper tantrum too.
yeah,
He was like,
no. I'm like, words, you words, use them, please.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
or don't. I don't know.
I don't think this
Like,
actor
what
is
are
a
you
bad
doing?
actor, but in this particular role, he was not. He didn't do well. He did not do well. He didn't.
I don't know. But we get this scene where they got to deal with the power. The villain dies.
Yes.
We got this. So the team split up again. We got Ellie and Claire. I like them together, and they have good chemistry. I like when they walk in and all the locusts are dead on the floor, and she's like, "Oh, I hate bugs." And I was like, "That's funny." And I liked when Jeff Goldblum was like, "It's right there. Just sprint to it. Go!" And they're like, "Shut up."
He's not being specific whatsoever. He's just like, press that one down.
Yeah,
below
that
it.
was funny. That was funny when he was like, "Oh, it's 3 down or 1 up. It's in the same place." And then they say, "Oh, E11," and he goes, "Oh."
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I think Jeff Goldblum was easily one of the shining stars of the movie. But for me personally, as a huge fan of Jeff Goldblum, bro, he stole the movie for me.
He was my
Love
favorite.
Jeff
character.
Goldblum, man.
Sam Neill and Owen, they go after Beta. Beta's still running around, which I found weird because I thought Beta was gonna follow Macy. I guess not. So I want to call this an intense sequence, but I kind of figured they weren't gonna die because
Right.
they show in the trailer that he captures her. Fucking Universal. So they tranquilize Beta. They get out. Then Kayla finds this helicopter, and she can't land because there's dinosaurs everywhere. So she finds a place to land. They run out. Then we get I'm gonna call it Spinosaurus 2.0 because that's what it looks like. Spinosaurus 2.0. He shows up, and he's about to kill them. Then the T-Rex shows up, sticks his head inside a waterfall, makes the damn logo.
The logo, man.
Yeah.
Which I was like, okay.
I said that's goofy, bro.
It's the IMAX poster. Literally, it's the IMAX.
IMAX. It's the
I was
IMAX
just
poster.
like, okay,
It
you
is.
know,
When he
no.
I couldn't stop laughing when he did it because he comes in, he opens his mouth, but then he moves in just a little bit that way he could get the arms in, and then he looks up. And I was
he just goes right in and just goes like,
yeah, I was like,
I'm just like, you
okay.
couldn't- oh my god,
you're really trying hard for the
It's
member
a-
bears there,
It's,
Universal.
Yeah, it's a little
Okay.
cringe, bro.
They really-
It was a
they're
little
really
cringe,
trying
to
do
be
fan
honest.
service at this
So
point. I
we get
can tell.
this awesome fight with this T-Rex and the Spinosaurus 2.0 and a Lady Deathstrike dinosaur. Everyone take note of the dinosaur names I create for these
Yo.
dinosaurs because I don't know anything
Yo.
other than a T-Rex,
Yeah,
a
put it all
raptor, and
in
a
the chat
pterodactyl.
there, guys. Put it down in the chat.
So we get this awesome fight. It was a really good fight. The way the dinosaur died was awesome. They got stabbed with the nails. That was awesome. So all the characters escape. I thought one of the characters was gonna die here. I guess not.
Yeah.
So they escape, and I forgot this. BD Wong is in this movie.
I was about to say we did not to discuss BD Wong in this
because he's worthless in this movie.
He's
Right.
very
He's
Like,
just there.
I think-
just explain crap like
I
about.
kind of feel like he
maybe.
should have been the main villain because he was kind of behind everything in Jurassic World. And then in Fallen Kingdom, you learn that he's still in on it. And then I feel like in this movie, why
They
wasn't
tried to
he
give
just
you-
the main focus?
they tried to give you sympathy for this character. I think mainly because he was part of the original film.
Which is fine. It's just he's not in it enough. Like we should have had it be that he was trying to stop the other villain or something, and the other villain was like, "No, get out! I'm not doing this."
But they were semi working together. That the whole thing with BD Wong and the whole thing with Richard Parker. That's where the film is like very convoluted, right there. Like,
right.
What they are trying to achieve, what they're doing, their mission is. But BD Wong in this movie, man, I was very disappointed.
He's boring.
Boring. What they gave him, dialogue was like put you to sleep. He looked bad too. I think that might have been the point. Yeah, like they made him look old.
Yeah,
that might have been the point, but it didn't really have a reasoning for it.
Yeah, it's
I don't know.
So they run into BD Wong and he's like, "Oh, I have the cure or whatever that can save humanity." Which
I laughed so hard when he came out of the shadows with the little
which I didn't understand this because at the end of the movie, the dinosaurs are still there, and I guess the cure was that they don't kill people. They can lure them to biosyn. I think that's what it was supposed to be. And he's just like, yeah, I have the solution for everything. And they're like,
I can cure cancer.
Yeah. He's like, all right, come on in. We got room on the helicopter. Come on in.
Let's go.
So they all escape. And we get a lazy narration to end the movie where it's just like, oh, yeah. Biosyn is
doing that.
Yeah, Biosyn. Oh, no, we get probably my favorite scene in the movie. Ellie and Alan are finally a thing.
That's your favorite scene in the movie?
One of them, that not regarding like dino stuff. How was it not?
That felt so forced.
Like,
what do you mean?
That just, like,
it makes sense.
That kind of tugged at my heartstrings a little bit there, man. That kind of tugged at me.
That was a course correction for what Jurassic Park 3 did.
Yeah,
you didn't. I kind of liked that though. I kind of liked what Jurassic Park 3 did. I don't think that they had to be together. That it felt like a check mark. Oh, got them together. You know.
Well, that's a check mark I'm super okay with because when that happened, I was like, yay! Finally, damn.
Yes.
I loved it. I love them together. I do, and I'm glad that they got their ending. So we get this lazy narration that's just like, oh yeah, Biosyn is a sanctuary. And the dinosaurs are here, which doesn't make sense because then they show dinosaurs other places. So it's like, so what did you actually do?
Yeah, what really was?
Because you can't really keep the dinosaurs out like from.
Because they have them in Biosyn, but then they show pterodactyls flying with birds, and then they show like the other dinosaurs roaming around, and then they even show little baby dinosaurs in Washington D.C.
Yeah.
So it's like, what did you do?
Like in Africa, walking with the elephants, and
I don't know.
And that's in film. Fade to Black.
Fade to Black. Okay, good. Finally, we're done.
I don't know.
Or Cut to Black.
It was a bizarre.
No, I think it was like just a slam to black. I think it was.
Yeah.
It was a bizarre ending. I think they could have. We didn't even get a final shot with Claire and Owen or anything.
No. Our final shot was just like at the sun.
Well, they were there with Ellie and they were there with Ellie and Alan.
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, they were there with Ellie and Alan, and Jeff Goldblum was there. And Kayla, we got a final shot with Kayla and everything.
Yes, we did. When she buys a new plane.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the spoiler-filled section of Jurassic World Dominion. I do like this movie. I do, but it's messy. I feel like my likeness for this movie is kind of guilty pleasure-esque.
Because
I do agree with that. But this movie didn't piss me off. You know, I didn't really go in expecting it to be amazing. You know, I do agree it's not perfect, but for what it is, I enjoyed it. Yeah, so now we will, before we head out of here, let's go into our Jurassic Park franchise rankings.
Do it.
These are going to be interesting because my thoughts on some movies have changed.
Uh-oh.
So
Okay.
we are going to start with moi, and then
Mhm.
we will go around.
Mhm.
So I think me and AJ, other than one, have pretty much the same. So starting from the bottom, this is the only movie in this franchise I refuse to watch ever again. The Lost World, Jurassic Park, the epitome of NyQuil. It is. It's just I don't like it at all. It's boring. Doesn't really justify its existence. Other than hey, we wanted to make another one. You know, it's boring nonsense. There's moments of greatness. There are some cool sequences, but I don't think the acting was interesting. Some of the effects are garbage. The green screen is garbage, and it's just boring. Number 5 is going to be Jurassic Park 3. Bit of a guilty pleasure. I fully acknowledge this movie's not great, but it's 90 minutes of dino nonsense, as I put on my Instagram. And at that point, it's kind of how I felt with this movie. At that point, I really didn't care. Number 4 is going to be Jurassic Park, Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom. I've grown to like this movie. I have. Mainly AJ kind of got me to that because he was like, "It's not that bad," and I wasn't gonna rewatch it, and I was like, "All right, I'll rewatch it." It's really not that bad. If I'm gonna be honest, I think the first and third acts of this movie are great. The second act is a cartoon and is not well written at all. But I like this movie, and I'll get shit for this. On a technical level, this is my favorite directed Jurassic Park movie. I love the way this movie.
I can agree with that actually.
I
Well done.
love the way this movie looks. I love the way it's directed. The CGI is on point, and I really love it on the technical level. Story could be better, but I enjoy it. Number 3 is going to be Jurassic World Dominion. Just talked 50 minutes about this movie already. Number 2 is going to be Jurassic World. I still really like Jurassic World. I do. It's a fun, dumb movie, and it knows it, and I like it. But number 1, of course, is going to be the original Jurassic Park. Nothing is going to beat this. Literally nothing, being that this
No.
franchise is done. Yeah, man. Everyone in the comments, leave your rankings down below, please, because we are curious. So we're gonna go AJ because I know Luke has a very interesting one. So AJ, what is your ranking for the Jurassic World franchise?
All right, starting with my worst to best. Jurassic the Lost World is number 6. Everything that you said, NyQuil, boring, does not justify its existence. I agree 100%, and I don't. I one thing I can't agree with is it has interesting concepts or interesting. What did you say? Interesting
Sequences.
great sequences. I
like the T-Rex scene. I like that sequence. It's too long, but I like it, and I like you can't deny the raptor sequence was cool. I like the raptor sequence a lot. When they break out and they're going after them, I like, and I also like when they're running through the cornfield and you see their tails going. That's cool to me. I like that.
Okay, I'll give it to you. But yeah, that's my number 6. Number 5 is Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom. I admit that this movie isn't great, but it's a little bit too hated. In my eyes, I love the first half of this movie. But the second half goes downhill for me personally. Number 4 is Jurassic World Dominion. A convoluted mess, but a lot of dino fun. Number 3 is 3. Ironically, this is nostalgia for me, man. I thoroughly enjoy this movie. I know that it's not great.
I like the slip for that.
Yeah, the slip is good. Some people complain that it's not the original logo. It's a different dinosaur. It's a different dinosaur in the logo for Jurassic Park 3.
That's how it always was, though.
Yeah.
No, it's not this one. It's not this one though.
Well, I know. Oh,
yeah, different.
That's dumb. Why did they change that?
I don't know, but it's uniform with the rest of the movies. So
I get, maybe that's why they did that.
Yeah.
That's dumb,
but
though.
yeah, I feel like that film is straightforward with the plot. which some of them are not. But number 2 is Jurassic World. Love this movie. Great film. I know a lot of folks don't care for it, but I like it. And of course, number 1 is the OG 1993 Jurassic Park. It's a masterpiece, man. Masterpiece.
Mr. Ponto.
All right, here goes nothing. Number 6 is Jurassic Park 3. I absolutely hated this movie. It is like, really think about what's going on here. Like, so basically,
I beg your pardon.
so basically, William H. Macy and Tia Leone are going on a search for their son, and they ask Alan Grant to come along. Then all of a sudden, you find out that he doesn't need help whatsoever. He's been straight out there for 8 weeks, and he's perfectly fine. Not a single scratch on him.
I mean,
this movie has
on an
terrible
island.
line delivery. I mean, especially from Tia Leone, who I think gives the worst performance out of the entire film. I mean, dude, even that line, like when they encounter the T-Rex, when Alan's like, "Nobody move a muscle." I'm like, that is terrible line delivery. Like what the heck were you going for? But Sam Neill really tries. He tries. And I like the plane crash sequence in the first act. That's really the only positives I really have about 3. Otherwise, this movie sucks.
The one thing about Jurassic Park 3, I'll say, it has a weird vibe to it in the sense that it feels both straight to DVD and theatrical at the exact same time. And I don't think I've ever seen a movie that has accomplished both at the same time. Because it does have that straight to DVD feel. Like, even with the way the movie opens, it's so bizarre. And then
I kind of felt that way with The
really,
Lost World.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, this movie really feels like a made-for-TV movie. That's how it feels to me.
It looks like that too. I don't like the way that movie looks. It looks very gray.
The effects, I'm not gonna lie, the effects I thought were garbage.
They're not that bad. I like the effects.
Worse than The Lost World?
Yeah, Lost World.
Yeah, I think Lost World's a lot better.
Bro, do you see the green screen in that movie, bro? The green screen in that movie's bad, bro.
Booty butt cheeks, as Smooth J Stu says.
Okay, I will admit there's some noticeable moments of green screen in The Lost World, but it's not like, you know, it doesn't bother me to an extent, if you get what I mean. It doesn't bother me.
I think a lot of the older, the first 3 films has dated effects.
I like the effects in 3. I do. I don't think they've aged that bad.
No, not as bad as 1 and 2, but
I think the CGI in that movie is not too bad, and the animatronics are really good in that movie. Especially from the T-Rex. That one shot where he's eating the fucking animal and his jaws all bloody. I was like, ooh!
Mm-hmm. Look good.
Yeah. Yeah, well, my okay, let's move on. My number 5 is Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. I don't like this movie whatsoever. I mean, the performances by Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard I thought were solid. They did a good job together. They always had that chemistry together, is what I feel like. The ending, I hate the ending of this movie. I absolutely despise that ending. And it just really rubs me the wrong way every time I watch this movie. The effects were good. I will say that. The effects are top notch. And especially the volcanic eruption scene on Isla Nublar. I was like, okay, I'm starting to get into this right now. I'm starting to like it.
Mm-hmm.
But, oh my God, this film was just an overall bland, boring mess. I can't even get into this movie. Like, if you try telling me, like, oh my God, this one's better than, like, you know, say like, I don't know what to say. You know what? Scratch that. But point is, I don't like Fallen Kingdom at all. It makes me mad every time I watch it. Number 4 is gonna be Jurassic World Dominion. I can't really say much about this film. I had a blast. And also FYI, video review on my channel coming tomorrow. Keep your eyes peeled, so you guys can hear my full thoughts on it. Number 3 is Jurassic World. Now, listen, I have nostalgia with this movie because, like, in my hometown, it was the last film I saw in theaters before my new theater opened. So, I don't know, but I do enjoy Jurassic World. Like, at one point, this movie was like, oh my God, it's the best movie ever. Like, that was a stupid 12-year-old me. And I'm just like, okay, as I've grown older, I started to recognize more issues with it. Like, the film, I think, is a little slow towards the third act, and I'm like, okay, come on, pick up the pace. But the action sequences and all the dinosaur kills in the movie, especially like when the Indominus Rex is in the cage, like I especially love that scene, like when the Indominus Rex kills its first victim, and then when the guy's trying to get out, he realized, like, the camera pans up, you can barely even see it, but he's literally tearing off the guy's limbs, and I'm like, what? Like,
yeah, it's gruesome.
That kind of scarred me a little bit as a 12-year-old kid.
Yeah, some of these sequences are pretty terrifying, especially for kids.
Yeah, no question. Yeah, but my number 2 shocker is The Lost World Jurassic Park. Now, I really don't care what anybody says about this movie. I mean, I like that it goes in a much more different direction than what the first movie did, and actually having Jeff Goldblum this time as our main character, I was just like, you got me sold. I really love most of this movie except for the city section towards the end of the film. That is where I felt like the film really lost itself. So I was just like, okay, you don't need to go that far. Like, okay, just slow down a little bit. Let's just get back to back to the stuff at the jungle for a minute, please. But my number 1, of course, is the OG Jurassic Park. No question. Like, nothing's gonna top that first movie. Not even one bit.
All right, man.
I say this. If the original Jurassic Park isn't your number 1 in this franchise ranking, I have some issues. But if you have, them scrambled behind the first one, I'm not too mad. Because all of them, have their issues, their pros and cons, and it kind of comes down to preference, honestly, with the rest of these films, to be honest.
And what you expect.
Yeah. And, like that. But, yeah, like, it pretty much, it comes down to preference for anything behind number 1.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man. It's like not having Alien or Aliens as your number 1 for an Alien ranking. It's
no.
Or I feel like Toy Story, I know people like Toy Story 3. They have Toy Story 3 as their number 1, but I say the first Toy Story that's easily number 1.
I can agree with that. Well, that is going to do it for this long review. In terms of, clearly, I love this franchise. You got the 4Ks for 1 and 4, Steelbook for 1, Steelbook for the first 5 movies. I do love Jurassic World, man. Could this ending have been better? Sure. But you know what? I'm not. Yeah, I got that. I know I'm not going to do it. Got that Steelbook.
Got 1, 2, and 4. So it's just missing 3 and Fallen Kingdom. I will get those, just only for completionist purposes. I don't like those movies at all.
I like this franchise. I do. I wish it could have ended on a stronger note. Like, I wish it would have been better than Jurassic World. That would have been great.
Yeah.
But you know what? It is what it is. It didn't make me mad, and that's all I can ask for. Not going to the movies and being mad. And I had a pleasant audience experience.
Nice.
That needs to be commended.
Oh yeah,
that's not.
I heard some people clapping like when the directed by Colin Trevorrow thing popped up, and I was just like, okay, I'll join. It wasn't.
I clapped. My theater.
Yeah, but
clapped too.
I wasn't the one to obviously start it though. Like the one I started it with was with Top Gun Maverick, and that was for good reason. Because that film deserves a standing ovation.
You having pleasant theater experiences, that's kind of few and far between.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but when I heard students clapping around me for Firestarter, I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna stand up
clap for Firestarter.
Yo, what?
There was. I'm not even kidding. I pointed this out at the beginning of my Top Gun Maverick review, and I was just like,
I clapped because it was over.
Yeah.
In my home, I didn't go to the theater.
I was just like, you people never watch horror movies. Like, that movie was not scary in the slightest. It was
that actually happened to me when I went to go see Fantasy Island. People clapped when Fantasy Island ended.
Are you serious?
Y'all just clap for anything.
Like,
Um,
like after that first post credits was over for Doctor Strange, I wanted to stand up and clap because that was freaking awesome. But
Firestarter was supposed to be a horror movie.
Yeah,
it is a horror film, yeah. But then you just go freaking down the superhero route and be like, Charlie, you're becoming a superhero, and I'm just like, you don't need to go down that freaking route.
right. This isn't a Firestarter rant.
God, man, it just makes me mad every time I think about that. I always get mad.
All right. You guys can find these guys on YouTube, Instagram at the names presented. In terms of future content from me, on Instagram, Monorenner, we just hit 975 followers. Unbelievable. We are 3/4 of the way to the goal of 1K by August. That's what I want. I would love if I'm there by August 15th because that is my birthday, and I would love that. I can't even express how amazing that is. 975 people. Unbelievable. I just uploaded today Jurassic World Dominion, the written review, spoiler free. Go check that out if you haven't, as well as the other 5 Jurassic World reviews, all on Instagram. Also, Obi-Wan recaps. I recapped episode 4. This week, I was going to review all the Toy Story movies leading up to Lightyear, but I kind of canceled that because I was like, I haven't watched them again. And reviewed them.
Yeah, rewatched them, to do an actual review.
Yeah, so I kind of just I was like, I kind of don't want to do this, to be honest. So I'm gonna just review the first one. That will be on Monday. Wednesday will be Obi-Wan episode 5. I can't believe we're almost there to the end already. I am liking the show. I know a lot of people aren't. I don't care. I'm liking the show.
Screw those people that are not liking the show, bro. Like they don't appreciate different things with Star Wars.
And for anyone wondering about Ms. Marvel, I will not be reviewing it weekly because it overlapped with Obi-Wan, and I didn't want to review both. So I will be reviewing it in highlights on my story when the episodes come out. I reviewed episode 1. It is in my highlights on Instagram. I thoroughly enjoyed episode 1 of Ms. Marvel. I can't wait for the next ones, which I am woefully glad that I am saying that. Then Saturday will be the Lightyear review on Instagram. Very excited. Not too sure if I'm going to come on here and talk about Lightyear. Haven't done a kids movie. And to be honest, I don't know if I want to sit here and review a kids movie when I don't talk the language of kids at all. Clearly.
That would be if you did that, though. I wouldn't blame you.
I probably will. We'll see. It depends on how good it is. If it's as disappointing as I've heard so far, I might not. I might just sit it out. If I don't do that, then the next review will probably be Thor: Love and Thunder. Maybe. We'll see. But I will not be leaving you guys high and dry because Thursday we will be continuing with our summer watch-alongs with Transformers Dark of the Moon right here on the channel. These 2 guys are going to be here. AJ, more than likely, he says he's 98% sure. That 2% is still up in the air. We'll see.
Yeah, I'll be here.
And I'm not sure if I'll make it on time, though, because of what happened last Thursday. Because
Mr. Ponto,
we closed a little bit later than we should have because there were customers that were showing up at the last second, and I'm like, people, get out of here! I want to go home.
Get him!
I didn't tell them that. Obviously, I was thinking that to myself. I was like, can you just please get out of here?
I would imagine. But yeah, it's gonna be Luke, AJ, Mr. Stu, Smooth J Stu, Alex is more than likely gonna be there. The whole crew is gonna be there for Transformers: Dark of the Moon. I'm so excited to watch that movie. It's my favorite Transformers movie, and watching it with all of my guys is gonna be so much fun. And then after that, the following week, me and Mr. Ponto, more than likely, it'll just be the 2 of us. We will be doing a watch along from Mad Max Fury Road. Cannot wait for that. One of my favorite movies, and it's such a dope movie. And then after that, these 2 are unannounced dates, but after that will be Scott Pilgrim versus the World, which I'm super excited for. So yeah, man, you guys got a lot of content, not just from me. You got the Nerd Talk content this Sunday. We will be on Nerd Talk talking about Jurassic World, Ms. Marvel, Obi-Wan, The Last of Us news. All of that shit will be on Nerd Talk. I am just a little stream compared to Nerd Talk. Nerd Talk is awesome. They are my second home. I love them. So Sunday night on Nerd Talk, check that out. We're gonna get out of here. Thank you to everyone who was in the chat. Thank you, Jennifer, Jason, Alex. Love you guys, and we will see you on the next one. Everyone have a absolute banger of a night, man.